Nature religion is a subject of the present day presentation. Nature cults are a main part in ancient or archaic religion. Nature cults and ancestor worship are the two main pillars of ancient or archaic religion, as already de Groot in his book The Religion of the Chinese of 1910 determined and defined. Nature religion and ancestor worship, the two main powers of ancient religion. At first I will show some of my articles about nature cults I've written. Ancient sun cults, understanding religious rites in terms of developmental psychology. This is an article that deals with the central role of the ancient sun cults as a major power, as a main subject of nature cults in ancient and archaic religions. It shows that the animistic thinking of the child bases the ancient sun cults, because sun cults are the kind of personification of the sun and a kind of deification of the sun, and therefore it roots and originates in animism. However, animism originates in the mentality of the child, especially up to his 7th year of age. And therefore, the existence of sun cults is by itself an indicator of the prevalence of the anthropological stage of the child in the mind of ancient humankind. The next article deals especially with the belief of the Andaman Islanders into the magical role of the cicadas in switching on and switching off light, daylight and night, the changes of dusk and dawn, and therefore the magical role of the animals pertaining to the existence and functioning of the sun. The third article, The Nature of Religion, is a general article that shows that religious history is explainable in terms of psychological stages, and that the ancient main parts of religion, namely ancestor worship and nature religion, originates in the mentality of the child. The fourth article about the Dogon cosmology deals also with the role of nature cults and animism in ancient philosophy and mythology. And the last article here mentioned, the article about Plato's philosophy, shows that animism plays a central role in Plato's understanding of physics and nature. So, what is nature cult? What is a nature cult? What is nature religion? Nature religion means that the sun, the stars, the planets, the mountains, the rocks, the woods, the rivers and waters, the winds and the storms are believed to have magical powers and divine functions. That these natural elements are divinities and persons equipped with magical powers upon incidence and upon the running of the cosmos. Nature cult means the personification of inanimate elements, of nature, and that these natural elements are in reality not only persons but also gods. And therefore humans address mountains, rocks, woods and trees, stars and planets, waters and rivers as true gods, as true divinities that have magical powers upon the entire cosmos and upon the elements the cosmos consists of and upon the running of the cosmos. And the humans address these natural elements the same way as they address the Olympian gods or the god of the heaven, the god Father, or as other heroic gods, or as the ancestor gods themselves. So what do the people think about the nature and the power of these nature gods? They presuppose and presume that these natural elements know everything what is happening in the world. Ancient or archaic humankind really believed that the mountains and the rivers, the woods and the planets know everything what is happening in human societies, what is happening concerning the actions and activities of a single individual, and that they know everything what the humans are doing in their villages. Ancient humankind really believed that these natural elements, such as waters, rocks, mountains, know the crimes of the humans, the fate of the humans, the sins they committed, and the deeds they activated. And therefore, ancient humankind addressed these natural elements, gave them food and drink as sacrifices for their nutrition, in the full belief that these nature elements would require this food and drink the same way as the Olympic gods or as the ancestors or as any other kind of deities. It was believed that the gods are dependent from the sacrifices delivered by the humans for their running, and that the nature gods would only exist when humans yield and furnish food and drinking. But this was the normal play concerning sacrifices, because sacrifices pertaining to all gods, to all kinds of gods, were believed to be necessities for the existence of the gods. The gods cannot exist without the food and drinking delivered by the humans. That was a general belief pertaining to all sacrifices given to the gods in ancient times. And in response for the sacrifices, for the prayers, and for the human, animal, and plant sacrifices as response to the goods the humans give to the gods, the nature elements reacted as all other divinities had done by giving shelter to the humans, by giving luck and health to the humans, by giving protection and support to the humans pertaining to all activities humans performed. So it was a usual custom for archaic humankind to address, for example, a tree, to give food and drink to a tree, for example, a goat or a horse or a cow or a plant, water to a tree, and to expect from the tree support pertaining to the gaining of a loved woman, to obtain a good harvest, to obtain success in hunting and fishing, and to obtain support concerning warfare or any revenge action or whatever. So ancient humankind addressed not only trees, they addressed rivers, mountains, rocks, and the moon with the same purpose, asking him for support and help, asking him for assistance and magical powers. The moon should exert that the humans who prayed to him and gave him the food helped that the human being can obtain and can achieve his goals. So, and when we ask now how this was possible, that archaic humankind really believed in this magical power of the natural elements, how it was possible that they really believed these natural elements to our eyes and views inanimate objects are really persons and are really all-knowing and understanding persons, divinities and gods with magical powers, then we have to resort to the knowledge provided by developmental psychology. Because children, by their 7th year in modern society and all around the world, but only in modern society by the 7th year, children by the 7th year really believe that there is no division between inanimate and animate, between living and dead entities, because children up to their 7th year of life believe that waters, clouds, winds, mountains, woods, rivers are persons. Persons that know what is happening in the world, persons that can think and reason, persons that know about human society, persons that know everything what humans are doing. That is the belief of the child, age 3, 4, 5, mainly. And this belief declines from the 6th year onwards and goes down to the 10th and 11th year, when the belief in the animate and conscious power of natural elements completely vanishes in the modern child. So, And so far, it is absolutely clear that nature religion originates in the mentality of the child up to his 7th year. Nature religion takes root in the psychological stage of the child, and therefore, nature religion is a clear proof of the fact that the entire archaic humankind stood on the psychological stage of children, especially preschool children. And we see this from the consequences. Because when humans really kill other persons to give them as food for the rocks, for the mountains, and for the waters and rivers, then we know that their belief in the animate and conscious power of these natural elements was strong and genuine, and that it is an illusion among modern social scientists and ethnologists when they interpret nature religion as some kind of romantic attitude, because it is a widespread belief in modern ethnologists and social scientists to interpret nature religion in terms of romanticism, as if ancient humankind only wanted to express their feelings concerning the dependence from nature, as if they only want to express their emotions concerning the beauty of nature, as if they only want to express that they rely on nature concerning their staying alive in the world. No, nature religion is not interpretable and understandable in terms of romantic attitudes. Nature religion originates in the true belief that the mountains, waters, rivers, woods, planets can think and reason. If we study the empirical data coming from history or from ethnography, then it is absolutely clear that these people really believed the natural elements are alive, conscious, reason, think, act, and perform actions upon humans. There is not the slightest doubt into the reality of these tendencies. Therefore, developmental psychology alone explains nature religion and nothing else. There is no other approach that explains nature religion. Only the child psychology has the power to explain nature religion. That means only stage theory explains this core element of ancient religion, or does not exclude that stage theory also explains the other parts of ancient religion. Of course not. But here in this presentation, we only deal with nature religion as a main part of ancient religion. And it is only the structural genetic theory program I have developed over the past 40 years that has worked out this central role of stage theory concerning the explanation of nature religion. Other authors have hinted at the parallels between the religion of the child and the nature religion. Other authors have also shown some parallels. For example, Auguste Comte himself, or James Frazer did so. But what they did not understand is that the preoperational stage alone and nothing else explains the entirety of nature religion. And that is a definition that takes root only in my work. Let's take, for example, Jesus Christ, born on the 25th of December. According to the Julian calendar, the 25th December was a winter solstice. That is the shortest day in year. And from that day onwards, the days increase for some minutes per day to gain his full power in the midsummer night again. So the birth of Jesus is seen as a birth of the sun according to the winter solstice. And therefore Jesus was a symbol for the sun. And Jesus was not only a symbol for the sun, he was also a symbol for vegetation and for energy, a symbol for the summer. And therefore he died in the spring, as he dies in the spring because in the spring the winter dies. And he resuscitates 3 days later as the spring follows the winter. And his resuscitation reflects the power of the spring and the coming of the summer. And therefore, birth and death of Jesus Christ are connected to the seasonal events taking place in the year. And this was the usual way the gods, the ancient gods were seen. Adonis was also born on the 25th of December, and he also died and resuscitates in spring. And likewise, the gods Ishtar and Tammuz in ancient Mesopotamia and Syria. And the Egyptian sun god, the Horus boy, was also born on the 25th of December, and he also died later on in spring. So these Oriental gods, these Oriental divinities, belong to a widespread and worldwide custom of personify the seasonal events taking place in the year, especially the coming of winter, spring, and summer, and the coming of the harvest and the seeds. In the Indian religion, the midsummer night has also a very central role, as it had in the Celtic culture, but not only the Celtic culture, as a megalith culture, the megalith architecture reminds us. As the megalith structures are built pertaining to the central points of the sun year, especially that the sun can sow his light into the core structures of the megalith structure, especially to the altars or through doors, especially in midsummer night or in winter solstice. And this reflects the ancient and archaic humankind dedicated to the role of the sun, dedicated to the role of the seasons of the year. And the humans believed that they themselves would steer the powers of the sun, and that it is in their hands to control the power of light, to control the power of the sun, and therefore their religious cults concerning the sun cult circled around the provision of energy given to the sun. It was a widespread custom among archaic humankind, not only in Black Africa, not only in ancient and medieval and early modern Europe, but also in other parts of the world, to burn fires on earth to deliver energy to the sun. We have here the fire feasts taking place especially in spring or around the midsummer night, at the midsummer night, where Europeans for millennia up to present day burn fires. And the pre-modern Europeans, as archaic humankind generally, really believed that these fires burning on earth would yield and furnish energy to the sun. Archaic humankind had no idea of the proportions and distances, and therefore really believed that these earthly fires provide energy to the sun and keep the sun running. Without the human support and assistance made by the sun fires, it was believed the sun would decline and would lose energy or would disappear. The sun can only exist by the magical assistance of the humans, that is, by the fires made on earth. And it was James Fraser who, for example, in his The Golden Bow, described these patterns and these ancient customs as something that was performed around the world in ancient times. The Aztecs and the Maya, the Aztecs until 500 years ago delivered to the sun human sacrifices. They led wars against neighboring peoples, captivated them, slaughtered them on the top of the pyramids, burned the hearts from the victims in some jars, and the smoke coming from the hearts went up to the sun. And so the Aztecs 500 years ago believed that the sun would gain its energy from the hearts of the victims slaughtered at the top of the pyramids. And therefore, they slaughtered thousands of hearts, thousands of humans, with the intention to provide energy to the sun. And so the Aztecs 500 years ago believed that the sun was made by human flesh, and that the mass of the sun originates in human bodies transforming to smoke, and the smoke transforms to the mass of the sun. And the origin of this belief is to find in the last chapter of Jean Piaget's La représentation du monde chez l'enfant of 1926. Because in this last chapter, called Artificialism, Piaget explained the religious beliefs of the children up to their 9th year of life in modern societies. And the children believe that the cosmos and all the elements the cosmos consists of is made by human deeds themselves, especially by metamorphosis. The children up to their 9th year of life believe that in the early time, in the beginning of time, humans transformed to all elements the cosmos consists of, and that the sun is made either by human magic or by human bodies themselves, whereby human bodies transformed into the mass of the sun. Of course, the children believe this not only pertaining to the sun, but pertaining to all elements the cosmos consists of. So the waters, the rivers, the woods, the mountains are also believed to be transformed humans or transformed gods in the beginning of the time. And so every single child living in modern society has beliefs that are identical with the beliefs of the Aztecs 500 years ago. Of course, not every ancient culture sacrificed so many humans as the Aztecs have done. But to hand over human sacrifices to the sun god, that was an ancient custom to find across the world in ancient cultures. The Celtic religion had this custom. The early Egyptian religion also knew this custom, but the ancient Egyptians replaced very early the human sacrifices to the gods by the delivery of other sacrifices, animal sacrifices, plant sacrifices, and so on. But to hand over human sacrifices to the sun or to other natural divinities, that was a widespread practice in archaic religion and in archaic cultures. And we see that the progress in history is observable around the world. The more advanced the culture is, the more it is likely that it has replaced the human sacrifices by other sacrifices. But human sacrifices to the gods, that was also omnipresent in Black Africa during the 19th century, or in Polynesian culture, or so on. And we see this custom to apply vegetation cults or nature cults in the cosmogonic rites of the Black Australians, in their vegetation rites or in their inti-huma rites, they performed every year. In these rites, they secured the annual reproduction of the cosmos for the maintenance of the existence of the cosmos. They reproduced the early origination of the cosmos by the gods in their annual rites in order to keep up the running and functioning of the cosmos. And they did it as they believed that once upon a time, in the beginning of the time, their ancestors themselves, the first humans themselves, created the cosmos by metamorphosis, by transforming their own bodies into all elements the cosmos consists of. That means that the Australian aborigines believed that the waters, the woods, the mountains, the rocks, the landscapes, and so on are human bodies, are made by metamorphosis, are made by the bodies of the first humans that lived on Earth. And that resembles to the Aztec sun cult, to the Aztec praxis of burning the hearts of the victims to produce the mass and the energy of the sun. It is the basing idea is the same. That the human flesh, the human body, is needed to make natural elements the cosmos consists of. And so the Australian aborigines, in their totemic rites, in their inti-human rites, express their idea that the cosmos is nothing else than the humans themselves. The humans are the makers of the cosmos, and the cosmos is nothing else than human flesh. And that origin of this belief is to find in the belief of the modern child that humans and gods in the first day of the cosmos transformed into the cosmos itself and to all elements of the cosmos. And therefore it is absolutely clear that Piaget has unwillingly and unknowing, although he didn't know this exactly, but his hints at the parallels between the child's belief and the ancient belief shows that he did not ignore these parallels and this coherence totally. But of course, he did not really define what I'm doing here, namely that the preoperational stage is the sole condition and the sole cause to the existence of the cosmogonic rites of ancient humankind, of the cosmogonic rites of the Australian aborigines, and of the sun cult of the Aztecs and the Maya, or of other ancient religions. And therefore, against this background, it is understandable also the judicial ordeal, because in the judicial ordeal, the elements, the fire, the water, give answers who is right and who is wrong concerning social conflicts. And the fire and the water are gods that know everything what is happening in human settlements, in human society. That fire and water and other elements have the power, the knowledge, and the wisdom to do the right. And therefore, there's a direct connection between nature religion and the judicial ordeals. The judicial ordeals are a part of nature religion. And so we see, if we only knew from ancient humankind, from archaic humankind, the phenomenon of the adoration of mountains, rocks, rivers, waters, woods and trees, planets and stars, this would suffice to have demonstrated an evidence beyond the slightest doubt that these people stood on the anthropological stages of children. And it will require some further centuries until social scientists will gain the anthropological stage that is required to understand these simple equations.